Yeah! That's right. Here we go again. Again. Twice in one day. We've heard stories of people actually overdosing on Drum Talk TV, and you're welcome. So I'm here with my bud, David Drezek, who won their
Wow. Encore
intro music
I get my own intro music, Dan.
twice. I didn't realize that I had that on the loop, but David Drezek won the Ringo Starr Drumming Tribute Challenge. If you're not familiar with that, shame on you. Put yourself in a 5-minute timeout, and we'll tell you all about it. Put yourself in a timeout after the show. But David, I think, how many others have you won? I think you won the Stuart Copeland and maybe Phil Collins. So I have this right? Or
It was,
I'm sorry that I don't remember.
oh boy, 50 Ways. What's his name?
Steve Gadd.
Steve Gadd, of course.
What's his name? Clyde Finestachet.
I'm joking. Yeah. And then
Harvey
my first one was Phil Collins.
Right. Oh, and
Robert Plant tune.
oh yeah.
Inside. Yeah.
One of the things that you've done such a great job of nailing, and I want to not only give you accolades, but explain this for folks that we want to inspire to join the challenges, is the second criteria with the second most weight of your score, which is 30%. That 50% is accuracy. 30% is sound matching. And you've done a great job with the same drum kit every time of matching the sound of the recording you're playing to. And with Ringo, you nailed it. And what's interesting about that is this is the year 2032 or whatever the year it is, and you're able to match a sound that goes back to the 60s. There's a talent and a skill and a attention to detail in there that we so much appreciate. So first, tell everybody, I'll show everyone where to find that, but tell everybody the song you picked, why you picked it, and what Ringo means to you as an influence, if at all.
Right. I know I did Come Together. The other one was, the one I won was, geez, it just lost my train of thought. Wow. That's
it was
terrible.
Black Dog. Oh, no, that wasn't the Beatles.
No. Day Tripper. Sorry.
Day Tripper. Yep.
So Day Tripper, and thank you for the compliment on sound. I do spend a lot of insane time after I finally nail the 1000th recording or playing it over and over.
Right, how to play it's one thing, the placement and how to make it sound like that's a whole different thing, right?
Exactly. So of course I do play around with the actual physical drums, as you saw with the sheets on Come Together, getting that real muffled sound. I had to kind of be creative, and I saw a lot of that online, so I'll try that. And that came out really, really good. But with this one, I didn't have to go quite as much with the muffling because his tom sound didn't have the muffled sound that it did on Come Together. A whole different period of several albums in between. So right. The snare I tried to tighten up as much as I could. The bass drum I had to kind of a little bit softer on the bass drum, and then just overall just kind of tone it down, not go my typical really hard, because he wasn't a really hard hitter.
Right.
He did the animated stuff, but he wasn't really a hard hitter.
Right, not at all.
I think the crazy thing, Dan, was when I was doing Come Together, I didn't realize until I did some more digging that he's a left-handed drummer that plays a right-handed kit.
Yeah.
His drum fills always lead with the left hand, even though he's playing a right-handed kit. So I'm not sure if anybody noticed, if you noticed, if on the Come Together video, I actually do the tom in the reverse, second mid to the upper, and then down back the other direction again. When you listen to the drum fill.
Right, leading with your opposite hand that you usually that you're favoring.
Right.
It changes the formula, and it changes your thinking, and it changes the pattern. It changes the approach.
It certainly does. It's crazy. But again, I learned a lot about Ringo as a drummer. I didn't appreciate him growing up. I do have a lot more appreciation for him now. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube that talk about how people think, oh, Ringo's just a, whatever drummer. It's all basic stuff. I beg to differ now that I've listened to more and more of the Beatles and his style of drumming. I was going to do A Day in the Life. You know those crazy, insane
Oh,
drum fills in that song? I'm
yeah.
like, if I had more time, I probably would have tried to attempt that. I listened to it a few times. I'm like, oh man, that's just gonna. I don't have time for that. I could go with something a little simpler, something I know better in my head. Because
Right.
when you're playing to a drumless track, you got to kind of you got to have it all upstairs and then just lay it down as best you can. No click, nothing. It's just over and over, playing it over and over again. And then
Yeah.
again, the sound, just going through my mixing on my GarageBand app and just playing with the treble, playing with the bass, playing with the mids and the uppers, the low, everything I can to try to get a little bit of reverb where I don't need reverb. It's just insane.
I love the meticulization of it. Is that a word? Wait, meticulization. Hold on. That's 33 points in Scrabble, just so you know. We're talking
Look
about
that
Ringo,
up.
folks. Those of you just joining us, give your thoughts on Ringo. What I don't want to hear is this. I don't want to hear people say, well, he played for the song. Every drummer plays for the song, whatever that song is. Nico McBrain with Iron Maiden, Carl Palmer with Emerson, Lake and Palmer, John Bonham with Led Zeppelin. They all played for. It doesn't mean laying back, and that's how a lot of people use it, right? They mean conservative. It's just playing in the background. It's playing for the song. Neil Peart played for the fucking song for La Villa Strangiato. YYZ. Where's my thing? Leave that thing alone. It's like I'm so tired of that platitude that just doesn't really mean anything.
I agree.
Yeah, but I want to show people how they can find all this stuff real briefly. Here we go. There's the Drum Talk TV membership site, drumtalktvbrilliance.com. So you go down, and what you do is you log in. Here we go, premium login. There you go. And then you can go to more. Oh, I got to stretch my window out a bit. There were drumming challenges. There we go. And then you see all the drumming challenges. Jeff Porcaro right now. Neil Peart for 2112 right now, John Bonham for celebrating 50 years of legendary Led Zeppelin album, all this stuff. But then we get to Buddy Rich is happening, Phil Collins is closed, Ringo Starr, there it is. So you click on that and you can see all the submissions and the rules and everything like that. Lots of fun, lots of fun. And your videos will not get muted. You must play. Unlike YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, you must play to the officially released albums, but it won't get muted. So how cool is that? So join in, folks. The thing about Ringo, David, is that he's so polarizing, right? Like people either love him or hate him. Like you said, he's too simplistic. Nick Mason of Pink Floyd falls in that same category. And people who are not familiar with all the albums by Pink Floyd before Dark Side of the Moon think he's too simplistic. If you listen to the albums before Dark Side of the Moon, it sounds like Chad Smith told me that Keith Moon played with a band that he soloed with, and that was his backup band. Nick Mason was very much the same way, where he was just all over the place. Watch Pink Floyd in Pompeii, the original version. And Ringo and Nick Mason have that, just do what's necessary for that music. Just like I said, Carl Palmer does, just like Nico McBrain does. What's your take on that whole topic?
It's interesting too. I would even put Phil Collins into that category.
Oh,
you think about early Genesis. The style of playing he had was absolutely insane. No one could replicate that. It's insane.
Wait a minute. I want to give a few shout outs to that. Get Him Out by Friday, Return of the Giant Hogweed, Watcher of the Skies. Like those songs are incredible. Cinema Show.
Absolutely.
Crazy drumming. And then fast forward 20 years and he became much more basic. And those familiar with his more pop-oriented, chart-oriented, top 40-oriented music, whether with Genesis or his solo career, they don't understand how intricate of a drummer he was. I mean, for goodness sakes, he needed Bill Bruford and Chester Thompson to play live. Chester, of course, with Frank Zappa and many other projects, and Bill Bruford with Yes and King Crimson, because the drumming was so complicated. That's a great analogy.
Well, I mean, because even though it was a little bit simpler, which I'm happy for because I can actually play a lot more of his stuff, it was tastefully done. It was still musically nice to listen to your ear, not some rambling fills where they don't belong, in the middle of
Right.
a chorus, and they're trying to do some crazy. No,
Stumbling
he's
over
really
other
done. Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you say. Pink Floyd, the Beatles, whatever. There are so many of those drummers, like you said, that get thrown into that category, and it's like you're not a true musician if that's how you look at it.
Right.
Because
That's a
that's
good
just
point.
not, yeah.
I just realized that you mentioned Phil Collins as an analogy, and one of my favorite albums is Tears for Fears, Sowing the Seeds of Love. And Phil
Great
Collins
album.
plays on 2 tracks. And
Yes.
he plays on Sowing the Seeds of Love, which sounds
Woman
like
in Chains.
Yeah, Woman in Chains and Sowing the Seeds of Love sounds like the Beatles in the year
Love
2000s.
Love
It's
it.
incredible.
Yep.
Boom, boom, high
Yep.
time. He's just totally doing Ringo. It's amazing.
Yep. No, it's fantastic. It's funny you bring that up. I was just listening to that album this past weekend, and it just occurred to me that's Collins, because I love. Not sure if you ever checked out Going to California, the live DVD from Tears for Fears.
Yes.
Back in Phil obviously doesn't play, but I can't think of the name of the drummer right now.
It's the same drummer that played on at Live Aid and played. I can't think of his name either, but he also played on a Bad Man song. My favorite Tears for Fears
that's
song.
a great tune.
One of my favorite things to play. Yeah, and he adopted some of the same stuff, simplistic in some spots, off the chain in other spots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can't think of his name. I feel bad about that.
No, I know. I was just reading about him because I didn't realize he had passed. Because as I'm watching the video again, I'm like, oh man, he's a great drummer. And I looked him up, and oh man, he passed away several years back. But yeah, that's a shame. But anyway, yeah, going back to what you were saying, and I'll make the comment again. You don't have a musical ear if that's what you think of these drummers.
Yeah. No, I love that. So do you have a favorite all-time Beatles song?
Really, I'd have to say A Day in the Life is way up there.
Yeah.
Randy Jackson from Zebra, the band Zebra. I saw him do a solo gig years ago in Charlotte when I lived in Charlotte. And he did a Zepp set. And he did a version of A Day in the Life. And I was just blown away. I mean, just an acoustic guitar, plugged in acoustic, if you will, and just saying it, did all the cool parts. He did a slide for that part in the center that goes before it goes into the bell ringing. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, wow.
Right? Go online and search for that on YouTube sometime.
I will.
You'll be blown away. I mean, absolutely fantastic. But that has got to be just because, and if you think about it, there's a Tears for Fears song off of their comeback album, Everybody Loves a Happy Ending.
Yes.
And they got back together. There's a song on that, the first song on that album. It's very much like the beginning of that Beatles tune.
Really? Do you think that's on purpose?
Oh yeah. I mean, you think about Tears for Fears, a lot of their sound in the early 80s, mid 80s was a lot of Beatles influenced sounds. I mean, look at that album you just talked about, Songs from the Big Chair, right?
Right.
A ton of Sowing the Seed, sorry. But I think, that's
Songs from the Big Chair. I remember that. Absolutely. So I'm going to bring up a picture. One moment. Just for fun. Give me a second, folks. Folks, just hold on. No pushing or shoving. Hold on. Share screen. Pick a window. So here's my biggest influence with the gentleman we're talking about, Ringo. And here we go. There we go. John Bonham with Ringo.
Hey, look at that. that was cool, man.
Yeah, it was when John was about to shave Ringo's head.
Look at that. Look how young Bonham looks there, man.
Yeah.
When was that taken?
75.
That'd be in the late 60s. Really?
I think it was 75. Yeah.
Dang.
Looking at how John looked then, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He changed his look during that whole tour, but I think that's 75. So he would have been 24 I
Okay.
believe. Yeah, because when I
75.
saw him in '77, he was 28.
Was
Yeah,
75 the year that they filmed The Song Remains the Same in New
actually, it
York?
was '73, but they didn't
Was it
release it
73? They
till
released it later on.
'76.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, crazy. But two amazing drummers.
Look at Ringo, man.
Yeah, what a
I
character.
love it.
And I heard that that's one of the reasons why he got selected, not because of his much better timing than the beloved and, with all due respect, Pete Best, but he was a character. He was a caricature that fit in with the Beatles. You know, he
Yep.
was not, for lack of better words, David and everybody, he was not normal. John Lennon wasn't normal, right? George Harrison wasn't normal, even though he was known as the
Probably
quiet one.
closest to be, but yeah.
Yeah, and right. And Paul McCartney, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he wasn't normal. So Ringo gave this other corner of this square of four different, completely different, that came together that made such amazing music.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
You
and
know, like we were saying earlier before we jumped on live, what the fact of what they did for that era of time, the music
yeah,
they put out, the technology that was only available back then.
and not
And
available.
well, true, yeah, yeah. And just it's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of times that's taken for granted, you know. I mean, they had mixing boards with giant knobs and Frankenstein levers you had to throw into place. You know, it was like a whole different thing. You need to pull this string that was taken from a bus to let them know to stop. Like that's a whole, oh gosh, I remember recording with 2-inch tape on tape machines the size of your washing machine, you know, just crazy. And yet that music 60 years later endures, 60, almost 70 years later now. Wow. Wait, what? Yeah, that's just crazy.
Don't age yourself, man. Come on.
Yeah. So what would you leave people with as far as the wisdom you've racked up with how to emulate another drummer's playing? Putting the placement, matching the sound, like what can you shed light on?
So I think it's important to understand how the song was put together, how the drum parts were, how they married to the song, if you will. Just trying to find the right wording. Like for example, I'm trying to learn a couple Rush tunes for your 2112
Oh,
challenge.
wait,
And
pause, detour. Which ones, if you don't mind me asking? If you want to keep it a secret, that's
no,
fine.
it's all right. I don't mind. Overture
Oh,
and Passage to Bangkok.
ooh, I love it.
So I'm glad you asked the question, because when you hear these songs throughout your entire childhood, growing up, adult life, young adult life, you hear them all the time, and you think you know the song, you think you know the drum parts, and then you get behind the kit and you start to, like, oh, is that what he's playing there? So I look at it, I just break it down, and I take, unless I know the song very, very well, and there are a lot of songs I've recorded that I just do the entire thing in one shot, but I'll take pieces of it, Dan, and I'll just, so for example, with Passage to Bangkok, the beginning to after the second chorus before it goes into the break and the guitar solo, and I learn those sections and the drum fills. Oh my god! I'm like, who plays like that? You know, it's insane.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
and even the simple ones that you think are simple, it's like, wow, the bass drum and snare drum pattern he does there, I've never played anything like that before. So to get my feet and hands used to that is insane, but I'm figuring it out slowly but surely. Is just to really listen, because is it ever going to be perfect? No, I'll never play a song perfect, and I don't expect to, and no one should be expected to.
Right.
You just want to sound, you want your timing to be on, you want to have clean drum fills, and you want your sound overall to complement what you're playing. And again, I'll try to make it as close as I can to, you know, I put some felt on my high toms for the little fills he does in Overture in the center of the song. But That's how I approach it. It's everyone's going to have their own way of doing it. And again, my way is totally different because I play to a drumless track. Now, in some cases, like with Rush, I'm playing with the drums in my headset to learn the song, and then I'm taking them out, and then I'm playing to just the music. So I'm learning it because that's the only way I'm going to learn it. I can listen to it till I'm blue in the face with a headset on, but unless I'm behind the kit learning it, it's going to be even that much harder. So then I take the drums out, put myself in there, and then I'll go in and do the playing around with the sounds and all that afterwards. But it will take me, I mean, I can tell you the two I submitted for Picaro were probably each song probably at least 30 takes each.
Wow.
Just because when you're doing the entire song, one slip up, delete, start over again. You know, it's not, you can't piece it together because that'd be way too obvious. You think we'll flip of the screen and all that with a different sound, different shirt, you know, it's like, really, Dave? So yeah, you just get to delete it, start over again. And dude, I've been at the end of so many songs and then timing was just off. I came in wrong on a fill, or I'm like, really? I got to delete that, start over again? But it's just, you got to be disciplined to be able to do that. And that's it's cool. Fun because Dan, you've challenged me. I've become a better drummer. I mean, I retired for years back about 15, 20 years ago. I packed my stuff up and just put it away and didn't play. And over time, I just kind of got interested in get back into it again. I had a neighbor that was a musician, and anyway, we got together and then finding this channel last year when I did my first Phil Collins challenge, and some of the ones I've jumped into, did I place? No. Did I expect to? No. In other cases, did I expect to? But I won? Well, yeah, and it just blew my socks off. But you've challenged me to go and learn stuff that I otherwise.
That's cool.
No, I draw a line because there were a couple, I think Adler you had last year, and I don't play double bass. I got a double bass set up, but I suck at it. So I get that. To try to learn double bass and learn a song, nah, it's not going to happen. So.
At the same time, who's your biggest musical influence, and who's your biggest drumming influence if they're different?
Oh boy, musical's tough. I got several. I've got to say Zeppelin and Bonham just up there because that's what I grew up. My brother got me into to that band specifically. Jeff Picaro, Toto, from a groove perspective, I think he was one. I wish I would have gotten into Gadd earlier because I think it would have been really, Jeff Picaro, Steve Gadd, two totally different styles, but yet they both have just such amazing chops, and the grooving is just so impeccably perfect, you know? And then I've got Phil Collins. So if you listen to any of me playing around, just messing around, if I'm just trying to create a song or a little solo, you'll hear a little bit of all that in my playing ability. Some of my drum fills would be very Phil Collins-ish type, or a John Bonham triplet type of drum fill, or a Jeff Picaro, just a nice, simple, tasteful, lick. And that's kind of, so those three, and Gilmore from Triumph, not as flashy or not as heard of as a drummer as all the others we were speaking about, but those four are my musically and drumming influences personally.
That's cool. I can't wait to see how you rank with the other submissions. That's great. Awesome. So folks, you should join us with this stuff. I'm going to show a quick video all about our membership site. Here you go. Check it out, folks.
Rough day? Get away from the craziness and come take a fun break. Join the Drum Talk TV Brilliance membership site, an online virtual playground for all types of music fans. With your free club level membership, you get access to twice a month music themed game shows with a chance to win prizes. Access to the first 100 viral drumming and music videos you won't believe your eyes and ears. A library of over 100 fun fact segments to hear artists say what what they love to do outside of their music careers. A place for drummers to post videos playing to their favorite music where it won't get muted or pulled. Join the Drum Talk TV Brilliance free membership at www.drumtalktvbrilliance.com.
Yeah, they won't get muted. Imagine that. An ecosystem where you can play to whatever you want. And we got the drumming challenges where you can be a guest on Drum Talk TV with me, and you get a $125 gift certificate to your favorite music store or an Amazon gift card. So lots of fun. David, thanks so much for your participation. You've done such a great job, and you've raised the bar, which is why I don't post any videos.
Yeah, right.
No, you've really done a great job, and thanks for breaking down your process. Very inspirational. I've got to make, oh my gosh, I've got to remember to do this. I've got to make some videos, especially for the challenge that we have going for the Led Zeppelin Presence album, one of my favorite, most influential albums of all time.
You play some good Zeppelin stuff, man. Get some out there, man.
Yeah, definitely going to do that. So folks, thank you so much. Big hand for David.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you having me on again, man.
Thank you. Hang on the line with me after we say goodbye. And folks, thank you so much for following what we do on Drum Talk TV. You can follow us at www.drumtalktv.com, our mothership. Check out the membership site. There is a free level at drumtalktvbrilliance.com. And we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And check us out. And we'll see you all very, very soon. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.